Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to your one and only Emerald Pillar King. In which I talk about common sense and I try to keep it down under the nitty gritty under 10 minutes. As you can see here, please read my so-called host introduction here. As I said before, who am I? Gen X. So that means that most millennials don't really respect Gen X perspectives, but I was born in 1974. All right, I'm 49, and I talk about esoteric. I'm pretty eccentric, as you should know. Some people may call me cringy. I don't really care about what they think. Travel to Ethiopia and yada yada yada. Just read my intro down there below. So today's topic will be about. Long life. How to live a long life. And so in my past, I used to be a personal curator. I took care of a lot of elderly. And I'm going to tell you right now, most of the elderly I took care of was actually over about 70 years old. And me, since I was so inquisitive as a child, as an indigo child, one of the chosen ones, of course, I'm just being on here not to expose myself to seek validation or ambition. But I want to tell you the secrets, guys, of long life. Most people who are not my cup of tea, please understand that your identity will show very clear because you just remove yourself off of here because we are not compatible. Your energy is not matched with mine. So I want to make sure that if you want to do anything live, you're going to have to subscribe. That all rhymed, didn't it? Okay, right? But I'm going to wait for a little bit. So before we get on, I am going to talk about the many things that you need to do in order to have a long life. But I want to make one thing very clear. If you have bad genes, you're not going to live that long. It's that simple, no matter what you do. The more social you become, the more likely you're not going to live that long, depending on the company that you keep. That is one. That is number one. The company you keep, because no matter how healthy you are, no matter what you're doing in your life to make your biological and your whole entire system happier, you are not going to live long because the company that you keep. So be careful with this. I believe in more individualism than a community. I believe more in that because when you are an individual, everyone can actually respect each other's perspectives and what they believe in life. I believe in individualism more than just the culture of things, more than just a conglomerate of people coming together, okay, unless they're actually open-minded, okay? You know, if a whole bunch of individuals, everybody's individual anyway, right? Okay, even if you're in the family, you always have some sort of disbelief systems. Everybody has some sort of things that they agree with and what they do, but most people are not interested in education, so you gotta make sure you separate yourself. If you're a part of the people that love education, you should congregate with those who are open-minded to do that. If you don't want to be part of people who are religious, as I said before, I cannot invite you because I do not know you and I have to decline, okay? And I'm sorry. I do not like playing games. I am a therapist, yes. Okay, everyone needs therapy, including myself, okay? But before I go down the list of things what the elders said to me on how to live long, I'm going to post this on my YouTube. So if you go into my bio, you will see my YouTube. And then you'll understand that I'm very eccentric. And a lot of people may think I'm kind of cringy, but I do it on purpose. I have to do this to get the majority of masses of asses off. This is all unscripted. This is all coming from my head. All right. It is the time right now, and my time is 4:32 in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. Washington, PA, Pennsylvania. Okay, that's where I reside, Washington, PA. But of course, don't nobody try to stalk me because you're not interested. Trust me, it's a waste of time. Okay, but let me put it to you real clear, guys. I want you guys to understand something very clear here. Is that when you give off an energy that most people do not like, okay, they will naturally, turn themselves away. So this is a good thing. A lot of people are born with these abilities, but they're like hidden gifts. So when you basically have a gift, people won't like you simply because of your image or maybe the way you sound. Maybe they didn't have a father figure. Maybe something happened in their past. Regardless, I believe that's the first and fundamental thing that you should do to live a long life. This video is about long life, how to live a long life. Okay? All right. So, but you can still comment in the section down below. But in order to get on my lives, you have to subscribe. In order to get on my lives, you have to subscribe. In my many years of being a personal carrier, I used to be a carrier for like about 2 years. And then I tell people all the time about 30% of America, this is 2023, I will always believe that 30% of Americans will be racist. So just cut to the chase. Because you know why? Because I talk to a lot of elderly Caucasians. I had to bathe them a lot. Okay, I had to take care of them, clean their houses. There's a certain amount of whites in this country, in America, who believe that blacks should be slaves. Okay, I've encountered them. Yes, yes. I even tried to use reverse psychology, dark psychology, to understand their psychosis. And the number one thing I learned from the Caucasian white guys, European ancestors, whatever you want to call them, races, okay, is that they were brainwashed to believe this. Did you know back in 1920s, America was like trying to do a German Anglo merging of the two races or corporations, Nazis and America tried to join forces together, back in the 1920s. Hitler was on the front cover of magazine, Time magazine. I didn't know that. Yeah, do your research. But it was abolished eventually because eventually, if that went through, we all will be slaves. Everybody who's a different color and you didn't have blonde hair, blue eyes, okay, you will be enslaved. Yeah. And I was like, what I learned from the racists, okay, they taught me some stuff, and I told them straight up before I got into their house. You can kind of sense that energy that their ancestors were racist. You know how black people can actually feel this energy. So I go in their houses. I said, did my company, Kelly Services, put me in a racist house? Okay, mainly in the suburban areas. Okay, mainly in suburban areas. It's an interesting story. And when I'm in their houses, I don't say nothing. I just do as they tell me to. I say, hello, my name is da 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 da. But what I learned is that it's not their fault that they were brainwashed to believe that, blacks are a lower secondary species of people, okay, It's not all their faults. I say half of them. Some of them actually went down to genetics, okay? And I said, hey, well, I would ask the question. I would say to them before I enter their house, I didn't ask to be black, okay, right? There are benefits of being black, and then there are benefits to being white. I don't relate to a lot of people's terminologies and understandings. Okay, I believe that if you know you're not completely 100% black, no one's really 100% black, and no one's 100% white. All right, so let's get that real clear out the way. And then I'll be like, hey, I would say the word Negro is da 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 da, and I would say some stuff derogatory towards color folks, because I was acting, okay, using dark psychology to understand their construct. I remember I was sitting at the table playing Chinese checkers with this racist guy. He said to me, so you're kind of destroy everything. I said, no. I said, okay, yeah, 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 yeah. I said, yeah, they sure do. I said, I wonder how they get a chance to do. You have to manipulate some factors to understand someone's psychology. Y'all don't know nothing about dark psychology. Sometimes you have to use a bit of manipulation to get the truth. Lots of people don't tell the truth. This is what I use in a lot of tactics when I talk to people. I say, hey, sometimes I have the energy to bring secrets out in people, and I didn't even. That was just too much information, right? I have that ability, so I don't hang around people. People that tell me the truth, they just blur out shit, and I don't know. They tell me shit, illegal stuff too. But anyway, what I learned from them is that back in the 1950s and the 60s, called the Golden Era, women they wasn't trying to be part of the feminist movement. It was only a handful of women who basically turned against Christianity. And what happens is that the CIA interjected, and Gloria Steinem, if you do your research, due diligence, they felt that it was opportunity to separate the sexes between the 1950s and 60s. Only thing you really needed between the 1950s and 60s, they told me, was a car to show your manhood. It's always some sort of materialism. I still didn't like that, but that's what they told me. Okay, yeah, they told me this. All a white man needed, okay, between the 1950s and 60s was a car. Yep, and he would get all of the women. All the women will flock to him. And during those days, women believed in Christianity, so they believed in the Christian values. Their job was in the house. Until, okay, what influenced white women to pursue feminism? Because it all starts from white women, because white women had more power than black women back in the 1950s and 60s. It was the black woman. And I was shocked. I told him, I said, that what do you think started the feminist movement? The downfall of America. Okay, he said the black woman was in the house teaching the white sisters, and that's exactly what happened. Okay, and the black sister was like teaching white women, y'all could work too. Okay, because that attitude came from black women. Okay, you can do just as much as he can. You don't have to slave in this house, because the black woman was cleaning. She was being the servant. Okay, she didn't have to go nowhere, even though she didn't have to do that as much, because there was a house Negro in the house. Okay, there was a servant in the house. And that black woman was enticing the white woman. It's a handful of women. But one of those women, okay, was actually Gloria Steinem, who actually worked for the CIA. You could look this up yourself, yes. And if you look up even further, going down the rabbit hole, you'll find out it's called Project Chaos. It's the beginning of the end of the sexes. They wanted to separate the sexes. So they wanted, if women can work, they can make even more money. The government can make even more money, especially for the military funding. Yes. But before I get on with the topic about what can make you live longer, before I finish my story, that was very interesting. I thought it was just white women, okay? But white women have more power and influence to actually use the media to their advantage. And even black sisters try to even work side by side with the white woman back in those days. And as I said before, you can write down things on the bottom. Okay? I know there's a lot of you who are not real. You're robots down there. If you're real, you can say hello, how you been, what's going on. I'm just telling the story, and I'm just going to basically post it on my YouTube. Okay? All right? Because I know that TikTok have these robots down there to make you feel validated that you're being watched. And really, I don't really pay attention to those numbers, okay? All right? They shouldn't be lying to people. Like a lot of you people were lied to about Santa Claus and Easter Bunny and Jesus. I know you're still young-minded, okay? Still brainwashed. I didn't fall for it when I was 7, though. As I said before, indigo children do not fall for those temptations. All right? Well, anyway, let's get on with the topic for the day. So that's what I learned back in the days. And so I'm talking for like about 13 minutes now. Let's get on with the topic. So now, to live longer, all the things that I got is mainly from Caucasians, because I used to serve them as a personal care aide. Right? Okay. And the thing I learned is that happiness and the social company you keep can cause your demise very quickly. This is why it's better to be for yourself, introverted, or more likely self-educating, self-improving, self-awareness. That's the first thing. It's connected to paranoia too, because a lot of times when I talk to some Caucasian clients that I had, okay, they didn't really do. They still exist. Baby boomers in the 70s, they still exist. Yes, they do. If you've been a personal care aide, you'll know they still do exist. They say some wise stuff at all times. But nobody listens to the Gen X's or the baby boomers or anything like that. Nobody listens to them. Okay, so the first thing I learned is that your social company that you keep. Okay? Stay away from drugs. Completely. Stay away from... As a matter of fact, you have to stay away from certain women who actually cause the demise of society too as well. But nobody really talks about that. And so if a man is trying to build himself up, he has to choose the right wife. And even back then in those days, they believe in polygyny. In Utah, they were starting that shit. In Utah, yeah. But it didn't spread too well because, the CIA wanted to shut that shit down. They don't want you obtaining too much power by having too many wives, okay? That's a man construct. When a man says monogamous relationship, that is a man construct to keep order. Okay, to keep order, keep you concise. But in Africa, they always believe in polygyny. Polygyny is one type of polygamy. Polygamy is basically a generalized term for many different types of polygamous relationships. Polygyny is basically a man who has multiple wives. Polyandry is a woman who has multiple husbands or multiple partners, right? There are many different types of polys, all right? So please understand when you say polygamy, what type of polygamy are you talking about? But I digress here. Your health, happiness, having children can extend your life. Men usually die faster than women in relationships. This is statistical. You can look it up yourself. Because men go through more of suppression. They suppress their emotions. The only time a man shows his emotions is when he wants some. Okay, but his left brain hemisphere is not really being, entertained by his wife. Okay, because most women, as I said before, are not into the things that men are. Okay, by fact, right? So what happens is that men have more hobbies, women don't. Okay, all right. And on top of that, you're drinking plenty of water, happiness, having children, eating the right foods, being paranoid of the company that you keep. Education is important, guys. Education will keep you living longer. Okay, reading fundamentals, basics, this simple stuff. But when you socialize, you lose that ability to learn because you're running around with your head cut off, and then you can't educate yourself because you're being distracted. You can't study or focus. And I hear the fucking Holy Spirit. I hear the fucking Holy Spirit distracting me. I'm up in the middle of the night most of the time. I'm holistic. Okay, I believe in natural remedies rather than just man-made remedies. Okay? But some of the man-made remedies actually can help you. Take your vitamins. Be paranoid of the things that you put. You are what you eat. This is if you want to live to 100 years old, you literally got to eat less. Yeah. And drink more. Okay, your liquids. The liquids actually can sustain your body much better than the physical food. You can break things. If you can help the body process less, the more you live longer. The more you're not around people who smoke or drink, or you live longer. The more children you have, you're going to live longer because children bring happiness as when they're younger until they get a certain age. All right, okay, happiness. And if you're a comedian like myself, because I try to troll some trolls. I troll trolls on the internet from time to time, and they don't like it, so I get pulled off the air. Okay. You see how Chris Rock got smacked? Okay, he got smacked because he was funny. He's funnier than Will Smith. He always made fun of people. All right, if you can't accept, if you're sensitive, you're not gonna live that long. It's simple. You gotta know how to enjoy life. You gotta know how to accept being roasted. Okay, you gotta be relaxed. Okay, you gotta educate yourself on how to fight back. The more social you become, the less life you live. I just said it. The more social you become, the less life that you live, because your chances of death goes up as you socialize. Look what happened to Dr. Sebi and Jack LaLanne. Now, I don't believe Jack LaLanne should have died or Dr. Sebi. Jack LaLanne was back basically before I knew Dr. Sebi. Okay, there was Jack LaLanne. And Jack LaLanne was very muscular, in peak condition. He was 92 years old. And he talked about how you should juice your food rather than eat it coldly all the time. He really didn't like doctors, and he always was paranoid about his health. He just juiced his food. It was the Jack LaLanne juicer, I remember. And then I heard of Dr. Sebi later on, okay? You know who gets more airtime. It's more Caucasians back in the days than than blacks. But I've told you many different things you can do to actually extend your life. And this is what a lot of elders who do live up to those ages of 100 years old. If you love life that much, try to seek happiness, try to seek your health, try to seek individualism, try to focus on more of isolation so you can learn more about yourself. When you're too extroverted, you're not going to live that long. It's just a common sense factor. Okay, it's just common sense. When you're socializing, people tend to get jealous of you. They tend to have animosity towards you, and then someone will get you. Okay, no matter if you're healthy. And then I was wondering why Jacqueline Lang died and Dr. Sebi died. They wasn't supposed to die early. Sometimes when you invent things and you actually have an idea, you can actually get hurt too. This is why it's best to be individual and not try to be too ambitious. Because let's say you found out the way to turn water into gas, or gas into water, or vice versa, whatever. Somebody may not like that, and then just get a hit on your life. This is why I don't want to be popular. Okay? But other than that, that's all I really got to say. What else is there to extend your life? Okay, have a hobby, something that you like to do, and then have two more hobbies. Okay, I try to teach women on how to have hobbies like men, right? And when they have hobbies like men, they will have something in common. And the thing with most women, I kind of try to teach them is to have something in common with that man. What does men like to do? Video games. Okay, some people look down on video games, but actually, video games are educational, like reading Rainbow and LeVar Burton. Okay, or Mr. Rogers. Okay, you got to learn how to read because everything is like a story. Okay, and it's challenging too. You don't have to play the harder games. And women don't like those type of games that men play. Okay, so what they do, they socialize, and this causes the man to lose his honor, lose his nobility. But of course, what else is there to say? Meditation, getting more sun. Just try to live somewhere where there's no disturbances, which your peace will be disturbed. I'm a watcher in this world. How you been, user 522117? In order to go live with me, you have to subscribe. And if I don't know you, if you're following me and we talk, you'll get on my live. All right. So I'm just talking about the many ways you can live longer. I know this world is not a very beautiful world to a lot of empaths like myself. You feel a lot of pain. When I used to be a personal carrier and I went into a lot of Caucasian houses, I realized that they were very sad people. Okay, I had to use dark psychology, in order to understand their psychology and pathology of why they thought that way, of how blacks are beneath them or something, how blacks don't deserve something, or even Chinese. It doesn't really matter. There was a lot of racism back in the days before the 50s, even during. There's still racism now, but you just gotta find it, okay, right? Only a racist person would actually say racism doesn't exist, okay? Only a racist person would say something like, most likely 13% of the population of blacks is committing 50% of the crimes, which that's definitely not true. But you can't believe everything you see on the media. There are just some things you just have to use common sense, okay? There is some psychological warfare going on when it comes down to the most beautiful race of all times, and that's black people. Asian people say it all the time. Black people are super beautiful. They get so beautiful that they're scared. That's what Asian people say. Yeah, this is why if you try to go to Japan or China, there may be some slight tendencies of racism. Don't start a business in China, okay, or Japan, okay, and you're black, okay, no, don't do that. You got to get testimonials. Okay, I'm not saying all them people are like that, okay, but as a matter of fact, you have to get testimony. You have to talk from black people, okay? What is your experience of living in Japan? But I'm talking about in this video how to live longer. I'm going to give you some secrets here, and secrets will basically make you live longer. Black seed oil, okay, is the number one thing. Spirulina and chlorella, okay. And see, I'm talking about things that I know off the top of my head that will extend your life. Staying away from milks, sugars, butters. You really only supposed to eat once a day. Eating 3 meals a day is not appropriate for everybody, all right? Eating 3 meals a day is not necessary for everybody, okay, right? Because there may be poisons in foods that may not be compatible with your body, okay, all right? And it's very important not to go along with the media and get brainwashed like a lot of people who believe in religion or believing that that's what do you call it? The stupid 19 works. Like, you got to get two sides of the fence. When you only hear one side of something, right? Try to understand the other side. To listen, peoples. Okay, and I appreciate all of the love that you're giving me. The user 552. You gotta get TikTok. You gotta be careful. I had to use a little bit of magic for TikTok and all these platforms. I said it before. I use magic, and mine actually work. So TikTok is in trouble, and they're about to remove because of my magic. And I told you I started that. The with the Twitter thing with Elon Musk. I started that. I even started with the Kanye West when he was trying to do he was buying out different companies. Okay? I told you if you want freedom of speech not to go away, you have to capitalize on that. You have to capitalize. That's why there's other platforms, MeWe, Signal, Rumble. You have to put your face because these platforms are owned by most sensitive people. Sensitive people tend to not like freedom of speech, and they'll use any tactic to steal your information. This is why you don't put all your eggs in one basket on the internet. You're not going to be rich on the internet. Okay, I advertise myself for a certain amount of people. Okay, because I try to act cringy, I try to act eccentric, unique. I don't really like acting like everybody else. And some people say, "Why don't you do the?" Yeah, I'm the one who started these things, but I don't want to be in the front page. I've been on radio talk shows. I've been telling people about common sense. I've been telling people, all young people, to listen to their elderlies, their elders. Nobody listens to that. Religion is a tool used to help people so they can have order in your life. Do you think majority of people are reading religion? Religion can make you live longer too. Doesn't matter what religion you're in. Just don't do the bad things that's in there, right? Okay, there's 10 commandments in the Bible. They say it was like 15 of them, but now, man changes things. Things evolve. Math changes. Nothing is stable. So mathematics cannot be the universal language of the law because a lot of the math that I reading, I break it down and I'm like, you haven't experienced what infinity is. And how can A equal B, A equals C, and B? You can't because those things are interchangeable in the wrong way. But of course, there are conundrums with math, and there's conundrums with the English language. There's definitions and stuff like that. There's all sorts of problems in life. Nothing is stable. Life is just a dream. Okay? So, like I said before, if you're focusing on the elders will help you live longer too. That's another thing too. Listening to your elders will help you live longer. Drinking plenty of water. Actually, the most purest water is distilled water. And then the next one down is reverse osmosis. Alkaline, yeah. Purify the body. Detox the body. Stop drinking milk too much. Cheeses with different colorings and fillings in it. You're only supposed to eat 1 meal a day. Now, if you read somewhere you need 3 meals a day, be my guest. Okay, I'm just trying to say less is more because the foods are not as natural as you think they are. 70% of the foods they say is contaminated with things that you can't get rid of out of the body. And then people starting to believe in these certain vaxes and stupid 19 shots and jabs, but they don't do any research. They just believe. Okay, and this is a problem of how you can live longer as well. Go holistic internally. That's all your answers right there. Use enough raison d'etre and questioning so you can figure everything out. But other than that, how long has I been talking? I've been talking for 28 minutes. And other than that, that's all I really like to say. Thank you for joining user 552117. You have to get a profile. And you know how to follow me. My information is right at my bio in my front. I'm kind of like tired of writing it down there and below. But my bio is unique. So if you see my my face, you'll notice that I'll be changing things up. I take a lot of information from other people that talk about things that I talk about that are really not popular. Okay, but I like to talk about things that most people are not talking about. But you already seen my channel, okay? Alright, other than that, that's all I wanted to say. Check out Marthia's Knowledge 9 on your own dime. Okay? I'm your only realist neighborhood schizologist. Alright? Indigo child. Okay? Other than that, if you got anything to say it. Forever hold your peace. You can type things down below. Okay? And as I said before, you can only go on my live if you subscribe. Alright? And what do I usually say before I get out of here? I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. I had some women be telling me, why don't you remove your mole or remove your glasses? Okay? I said, what do you want to do? You want to fuck me now? Okay? What the fuck? Why would I want to do that? To make you attracted to me, it should be my penis, right? Oh my goodness, women that sometimes I learn things from women. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I said, this could be another video for another day. Why are women more attracted to the body of a man, okay, or just their face? Because men don't look at the face as much, okay. Men are not as shallow, okay. Women need to look at a face to fall. This is when you can tell of a female. This is beside the point. I digress here. We can actually tell if they're going to fall in love. If a female says if her face is ugly, then she's most likely is going to fall in love. She wants to look in your face. She's not attracted to your body. And 9 times out of 10, there's a negative. There's pros and cons with both. If a female said, "Yeah, I just want that," I want that rod. Okay, you got to watch that too. Okay, so you can't have your world in both worlds. Your cake and eat it too. Right? Okay, I would watch out for the one who's just basically watching and say, I want that rod again, They're going to get the pipe, they're going to get it from, not just from you. Okay. They want the pipe from someone else, okay. But if they say your face, they looking at your face, they can fall in love. And me, I don't like kissing women, okay. I don't, they look at them. I do not kiss women. Because it's nasty. I just like to suck. Okay, sucking is better than kissing in the mouth because you never know what that woman's mouth been at. I don't know where your mouth has been at. I'm not sticking my tongue down your throat. But let me get out of here before I get cut off for something explicit. Okay, and they can't handle that shit. TikTok, you gotta evolve. Gotta evolve with these words. If somebody say a word, the context. What's the context? They don't read context. They just either like your face and they see a word and they cut you. And that's the problem with all platforms. They take it out of context. Other than that, I'm out of here, guys. I love you all, but I despise the many of you. Peace.